what on earth do acoustic levitation, jury trials, and UFOs have in common? I know, right? They sound like they're from completely different worlds. But what's fascinating is that the sources we're looking at today suggest they're all connected, like they're all pieces of the same giant puzzle. And according to these sources, if we actually connect the dots between them, a hidden pattern starts to emerge, and it's a big one. It's all about a massive shift in consciousness, maybe even in reality itself. Okay, so for our first section, we're going to start right here on the ground. We're going to look at how some of the systems we've relied on for ages are starting to show some cracks. You know, it all comes down to this one big question. Is the operating system of our world just outdated? And one of our sources tackles this by looking at the UK's justice system. I mean, this is a cornerstone of their society, and the question being asked is whether it's being fundamentally changed from the inside out. And this is where it gets really interesting. On the one hand, you've got the official government line. They're getting rid of jury trials for some crimes to be more efficient, to clear up backlogs. Makes sense on the surface. But then you have this other interpretation from the source, which says, whoa, hold on a sec. They see it as a huge erosion of a historic right, basically pulling power away from the people and giving it all to the state. It's that age-old battle, right? Efficiency versus freedom. And we see this exact same kind of pattern pop up in another source, this time looking at the FDA. There's this massive gap between the official public stance on vaccine safety for kids and what an internal memo supposedly says. Get this. The article claims this memo actually acknowledges vaccine-caused deaths and major systemic screw-ups in recognizing harm. It's a pretty stark contrast.
So you've got this questioning of systems down here on the ground, and at the very same time, something else is happening. People are starting to look up. And I mean really look up, with a new kind of seriousness, searching for answers.
And that brings us to our second section, this whole new upward look. We're talking about a huge shift in the scientific world. Suddenly, it's becoming serious business to study unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP. I mean, look at this timeline from one of the sources. The study of UAP is literally coming out of the shadows and into the mainstream. It really kicked off with things like the Navy's Tic Tac incident back in 2004. Then it moved to actual physicists going out on field expeditions. And now it's a full-blown, long-term funded project at a major university. That's a huge deal. We're talking about a massive move toward open, serious science. And it's not just happening in stuffy academic circles either. Look at this. A documentary called Accidental Truth, UFO Revelations has picked up 28 film festival awards. 28! That tells you something, right? It shows there's a real hunger out there for a story that goes beyond the official denial we've heard for decades. But here's the twist. While a lot of people are looking up with curiosity and wonder, there's another group looking up with a different agenda. Another source points out that Europe is pouring a staggering 22 billion euros into its space defense budget. So it's not just about discovery for everyone. For some, it's about control, power, and turning space into the next military high ground. So you see this tension building, don't you? It's discovery versus control, openness versus militarization. And this leads us to our third section, the science of liberation, which kicks off with this amazing scientific breakthrough that one source says is actually a perfect metaphor for this whole choice we're facing. Okay, so check this out. Scientists in Austria can now make things float using just sound waves. Pretty cool, right? But the real magic, the game changer, is that they've figured out how to add an electrical charge to each particle. What does that do? It means multiple objects can float together, side by side, without crashing into each other. They're all independent but acting in concert. It's like ordered freedom. And here's the punchline. The source argues this isn't just some neat physics trick. This quote really says it all. It shows that our world is more malleable, more dynamic, and more responsive to intelligent intention than we were taught to believe. In other words, this experiment is physical proof of a much bigger idea, that our reality can be shaped by things like vibration and intention. And that one word, vibration, that's the key. According to these articles, that's the thread that ties everything together. It's presented almost like a user's manual for reality itself. So what does vibration or frequency even mean in this context? Well, the idea is that everything, consciousness, matter, all of it, is oscillating at a certain rate. And your personal frequency, your vibration, determines the reality you tune into. The source even suggests that reality might be splitting into different timelines based on these frequencies. To make this idea easier to grasp, one source uses a really cool analogy from the TV show Stargate SG-1. You've got two paths. On one side, you have the Ori, who are all about external worship and control. They promise you everything, but you have to give up your power. On the other side, you have the Ancients, who are all about inner sovereignty and free will, finding the power within yourself. And the article basically says, hey, this isn't just sci-fi. This is the choice humanity is facing right now. Okay, final section. Let's connect all these threads and see what the big picture looks like. Okay, thread number 1, control. It's everywhere. We saw it with the jury trials, the official health stories, and the push to militarize space. It's all about external, top-down control. And thread number 2 is the natural response to that, sovereignty. People pushing back, questioning authority, demanding the truth, and looking for answers within themselves. So how does this shift happen? That's thread number 3, vibration. The idea is that this isn't just a political or social shift, it's a fundamental change in consciousness, a change in frequency that literally makes a new reality possible. And that brings us to the final piece, the culmination of it all, choice. It all boils down to that Stargate metaphor, doesn't it? Are we going to follow a path where we're told what to do, or a path where we figure it out for ourselves? This table just lays it all out so perfectly. Look at how it connects everything. In the arena of justice, the old control paradigm is a judge-only trial. The new awakening paradigm? A jury of your peers. For health, you go from top-down mandates to bodily autonomy. For space, it's militarized control versus open scientific discovery. See the pattern? Every single topic we've touched on fits into this framework, a battle between an old paradigm of control and a new one of awakening and sovereignty. So at the end of the day, what these sources are really giving us isn't just a bunch of disconnected facts. It's a whole new way to look at the world. It suggests that all these things, jury trials, UFOs, levitating particles, they're not random. They're all chapters in the same epic story. And that leaves us with the big question, right? These sources present a choice between two futures. So, what story do you see unfolding?
You've been listening to the Weaving the LightNet TLDR. To explore more about any of these topics, visit lightnet.co.uk or listen to the full deep dive podcast episode linked below. Give the video a like, share this episode with others who would appreciate it, and subscribe to join us next week as we continue weaving the web of planetary consciousness together. Stay sovereign.